For me, education is very important. I was not gonna be in this position if ever I didn't spend time going to school and educating myself. I'm not saying you'll be rich, but you will live a comfortable life if you are educated. And your decision making when you are educated tends to be different when you didn't actually complete your education. And even though maybe you'll be your focus is on business, but you still need to have some kind of background and get some sort of education. Although the process is quite long, but if you persevere, you will see the results, positive results at the end of the day. My name is Simphiwe Sibisi. I was born in Soweto, to be specific, in Zolawan. People know me by the name of Nick. That's my nickname. My identity is a father, a husband, a person who's caring for the family, who's more family orientated. My identity is a mechanical lead rotating equipment engineer. During my high school, I was studying at a technical high school, whereby I was exposed to technical drawing as well as trade. We were not given an opportunity, or there were no subjects like commerce where you were doing accounting. So my focus started there, and the interest in doing some technical stuff, although I was not too sure where is it going to take me. I was more good in maths and physical science, and I was given also an opportunity to use machinery, like the lathes, your milling machine. So this is where I gained interest in doing more research on technical aspect. I didn't get the proper guidance as to maybe have someone who's like a role model who became an engineer or who became a technician in the field of mechanical engineering. So I took it upon myself that once I completed matric, I will definitely one day become a technical person, but not sure as to which ruler or route in engineering that I will take. I studied at Val Triangle Technicon, my national diploma. National diploma in mechanical engineering, the course contents mainly are thermodynamics, fluid mechanics, theory of machines, electrical machinery, as well as communication skills. Just to break it down, thermodynamics is all about steam plant. It's more on science based, whereby you are introducing different types of steam conditions, how the boiler works, the condensers. And then fluid mechanics, it's a course whereby you get introduction in pumps, compressors, and other rotating equipment. And then I also studied BTech in mechanical engineering. The major subject there are also similar to national diploma subjects. The main ones that I can mention are theory of machines, which is similar to mechanics of machines. We did also steam plant, but at a higher level. We did stress analysis, whereby you look at the failure mechanism the integrity structural of the equipment, mechanical equipment. Basically, my challenges from the national diploma was mainly due to funding, because at some point I will find myself that I will complete a semester and pass all my subjects, but not knowing whether I will able to go back and finish the second semester. So these are some of the challenges that I was faced with, but I managed to engage with companies like at that time it was TEFSAS. I know now it's called NEFSAS. So they provided me with some financial support, and the good thing about it, at the end of my national diploma, or towards the end, the loan became a bursary in a way whereby I managed to complete all the subjects without paying any money back. So it was quite a journey, but I'm glad I went through it. After completing my national diploma, I got the opportunity to work for ISCO. At that time, what was known as ISCO, now is Metal Steel. I was appointed as a trainee technician. I spent almost 4 years within that role, where I was training at the boilers. I was also moved to the coke ovens, and eventually I became a mechanical technician. I thereafter I joined Sasol Secunda refinery in a condition monitoring department, where I was a condition monitoring technician. I moved through the ranks within the department. Within eight months, I became a senior technician in the condition monitoring department, whereby we were looking at the health status of the equipment, like pumps, compressors. And then later on, I also got promoted, became a principal technician. And then I was relocated to the high-speed balancing facility, whereby we do high-speed balancing of turbines, compressors, within a speed range of 3,000 to 15,000 RPM. My roles and duties there basically was to assemble the rotor, prepare it. It can be an external rotor or internal rotor depending on the customer. I'll balance the rotor within the required ISO standard specification. And then later on, I was moved within the same position to a different department where I was focusing more on turnaround activities, day-to-day maintenance, supporting the supervisors with all the issues that they have in terms of equipment performance. I was involved in MOC, management of change. I was also involved in doing some piping work. I'm exposed to relevant standard that I use in the refinery. I later on moved to engine refinery situated in Durban, where I got the role of lead rotating equipment engineer. The work scope is pretty much similar to what I was doing at Sasol Secunda, but here it's more on the management role, whereby I've got the team of engineers and technicians who support the department in terms of troubleshooting. We involve in CapEx, and I'm currently in this role right now. My current role right now is a lead rotating equipment engineer. On a day-to-day basis, basically I'm in a maintenance department. So we've got customers. Our customers are operations. They are the equipment owners. So anything that rotates in the refinery is my responsibility. That I must make sure that the maintenance it's up to scratch, it's reliable, and it's looked after. We've got quite a number of equipment class that we are responsible for. We've got pumps. Basically, We've got centrifugal pumps, we've got multi-stage pumps. So those pumps are used in the refinery basically to move product from one end to the other end. And then another equipment class that we have is turbines, steam turbines. Mainly they are the drivers of pumps or compressor. And we also got different types of compressors, reciprocating compressors and centrifugal compressors. So we've got two teams which I'm responsible for. We've got a rotating equipment technical team, and we also got condition monitoring team. I'll give you some background in terms of condition monitoring team, what their roles and my responsible. How do I support that function? Basically, we've got planned maintenance strategies that we need to fulfill on a day-to-day basis. Like for example, we'll take vibration readings, we'll take oil analysis, we'll also check for temperature survey using a thermographic camera. The reason why we're doing this is to ensure that the equipment health status is 100%. For example, the oil analysis will tell you whether your bearings that support the rotating element are 100% correct. Your vibration, mainly we've got certain standards whereby we make sure that we don't want a piece of equipment to vibrate above the required specification or threshold as per the required standard. So it's like yourself going to a doctor. He does his analysis. Like for example, you'll take a blood sample to analyze whether your health status is correct. So we treat we apply the same method on equipment, because we need to make sure that they are running reliable. And then on the other leg that I'm responsible for, the technical team, they are more involved in project work, whereby the refinery that I'm working for is quite old, so we need to renew certain equipment and make sure that we also comply to certain insurance standards, whereby we need to make sure that we buy equipment that got the double mechanical seal to make sure that people working around there, they are safe, and we also got secondary protection in terms of that piece of equipment. We also doing turnaround. Reason we're doing turnaround is like a planned maintenance. It falls under PMR. It's a strategy. We involve in doing turnaround on reciprocating compressors, major equipment like pumps, whereby the whole plant will actually shut down to give us an opportunity to do inspection, to also improve the efficiency of the equipment. Normally the turnarounds frequency are 4 years apart. So during that time, we'll strip down the equipment or the compressor or turbine, remove all the equipment for inspection. You will do your NDT, you will do a dimensional check. We'll send some of the components for high-speed balancing or low-speed balancing. Depends from case to case. We will inspect bearings, make sure that the bearing integrity is within tolerances, and we'll assemble that piece of equipment to make sure that it lasts to the next turnaround. And then I'm also responsible to make sure that I sign all the necessary paperwork to make sure that that piece of equipment, in terms of QCP, it meets the original design intent. I've got two plans. I've got a short-term plan, and I've also got the long-term plan, which is my 5-year plan. Short-term plan, since I've obtained my government certificate of competence, I would like to see myself within the next 2 years becoming a discipline manager within the rotating equipment environment. And then the long-term plan, or you can call it a 5-year plan, I want to see myself as an engineering manager, whereby I oversee the whole complex.